At your big age, if you haven't watched Psycho Pass by now, you need to go and watch it immediately. Please, 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 we do not lack on this channel. We are serious candidates and we watch all the best anime here. No excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Psycho Pass. Let me explain why you should have started watching it yesterday. With the current rise of AI technology, I think a review of this anime is now more relevant than ever before. Set in a 22nd century dystopian futuristic Japan, Psycho Pass delivers 22 episodes of pure magic. In the first season, the first half is slower than the second half due to the world building to help the audience understand how this society works, and then things really pick up from episode 11 onwards. The entire concept of this anime fascinated me because of what it means for corruption in the world we live in today, and how this system can be utilized to possibly tackle corrupt leaders. In Psycho Pass, Japan is governed by the Sibyl system. The Sibyl system is a unique, omniscient AI government that is a fusion of science and technology. The name choice for this system is brilliant and relates to ancient Greece, where the Sibyls were known as prophetesses that would make prophecies at holy sites. This explains why Sibyl is voiced by a woman. Bro, it's so crazy. Even writing this script and trying to actually explain it to you and how it works is busting my brain. But in this society, Sibyl's judgment is everything. Sibyl acts as the judge, jury, and executioner, and it claims to be designed for the majority, not the minority. Sibyl is able to regulate the masses by basically keeping you under surveillance 24/7 and constantly scanning your brain to work out your mental and emotional state via cymatic scan. From this scan, Sibyl generates a color-coded hue and crime coefficient, which makes up your Psycho Pass. A good hue is expected to be clear and a bad hue is expected to be cloudy. And crime coefficient is an individual's criminal potential or potential of committing a crime in the near or distant future. It's so crazy because there's people that Sibyl has labeled as criminals since they were born. The perfect Psycho Pass is a clear white hue with zero crime coefficient, and criminals would be expected to have a cloudy Psycho Pass with a darker hue. The constant scanning of brains means Sibyl is able to stop crimes before they are committed, but it also means that people live in fear of their Psycho Pass getting cloudy. This explains why the director said that the series' central thematic idea is fear. Can you imagine any slight deterioration of your mental health is instantly picked up and flagged? It's crazy. When something bad happens to a community, Sibyl knows that stress is contagious, so Sibyl can calculate the area stress level and take measures to reduce it. In this society, people don't have to worry about good or bad, right or wrong, because Sibyl is given all the power to control. Sibyl controls what you eat, what job you can get, who can run for government positions, what you can and can't do, impose a news ban to stop fake news, control agriculture, making sure that there are no food shortages in the population, and Sibyl also tries, although not enough, to safeguard the mental health of its citizens. Latent criminals refer to citizens who the Sibyl system has predicted will make a crime but haven't actually done the offense yet. I imagine once they commit the crime, they would become manifest criminals or simply full-blown criminals. The anime mostly follows the work of Division 1, which is a criminal investigation department under the Public Safety Bureau, and the viewers follow the team as they expose all the flaws within the system. The team is made up of 6 detectives, 2 inspectors and 4 enforcers, who apprehend latent criminals and manifest criminals. Inspectors are basically cops for Sibyl with low crime coefficients and high aptitudes for detective work. Enforcers basically enforce. They are latent criminals that work under the inspectors and act as hunting dogs carrying out the dirty work. Latent criminals don't really have much choice. They're basically either going to rehabilitation, prison, or isolation from the public, or sometimes death. So becoming enforcers allows the detectives to get limited freedom. They also safeguard the mental health of the inspectors so their crime coefficients don't get too high. So it's basically a protective measure. Inspectors and enforcers are equipped with the iconic firearm and possibly the coolest anime gun I've ever seen in my life. Are you ready for the name? It's called the Dominator Portable Psychological Diagnosis and Suppression System, or Dominator for short. These are high-tech smart guns that only fire on individuals with crime coefficients above 100. Each Dominator is registered to an authorized user, so the gun is able to identify its holder and only unlocked for its intended user. The Dominator can only be used when it's connected to Sibyl for approval. Sibyl basically acts as a Wi-Fi for the gun. The Dominator shoots with a blue bullet which can paralyze or execute the target. It has 3 modes: non-lethal paralyzer, lethal eliminator, and destroy decomposer, which completely annihilates the target in a horrific gory spectacle, so Psycho-Pass is not for the faint-hearted at all. After episode 11, we start to learn more about the cracks in the matrix when an anomaly appears in the form of one of the best anime antagonists of all time, Shogo Makishima. Give a round of applause for the antagonist, guys. Give a round of applause. What a man, what a man, what a man. Shogo Makishima hates the current society under Sibyl and wishes to destroy it. He has a very unique presentation and he causes a lot of problems for Sibyl. He has this advantage that I won't mention here, but it essentially allows him to do whatever he wants, and the team are challenged with how to deal with him because he is such an outlier. Shogo Makishima is a man of philosophy, and one thing that stood out to me about his character was how he would often treat the humans he attached himself to like specimens, objects for observation and entertainment. He loved to dig deep into a person's deepest, darkest secrets and desires and bring them to the light. He had this unyielding charisma about him that could sway a lot of people. A lot of people. If this guy was a politician, I'm sure a lot of people would be misled. He's a prolific criminal mastermind and magnetic villain. He has this insatiable desire to understand what makes a human being a human being. As you follow the series, you come to understand why he hates Sibyl and why he goes to the lengths that he does. He's someone that appreciates originality and free will above anything else, which is ironic because he uses his strengths to manipulate people. Now this brings me to the co-protagonists of the series, Akane Tsunemori, an inspector, and Shinya Kogami, an enforcer. Akane's growth and development through the series is brilliant to watch, and it's one that you should definitely take note of, but I'm not going to speak too much about her in this particular video because I believe that she shines more in the second season, and I'm focusing a lot more on my favorite season, which is the first season. In the first season, Shinya shines the most as a protagonist, and he's usually cool and mysterious but becomes heated in very specific scenarios. The series actually turns into a 3-way battle between Akane, Shogami, and Shogu, with each trying to exercise their own interpretation of justice. When we focus more on the dynamic between Shinya and Shogo, we see that Kogami represents the good whilst Makishima represents the bad. This is juxtaposed by their character designs, as Kogami is depicted with black hair and wears black blazers, whilst Makishima has white hair and wears a white shirt. It really puts into perspective the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Shogo and Shinya have history and bad blood between them. Kogami is obsessed with finding Makishima for personal reasons. Their rivalry was a source of great entertainment throughout the series, and they have a very peculiar connection that is not easy for me to explain without spoiling too much. Now, as for the story, the story is clear, concise, and creative. It doesn't really deviate from the overall narrative, and the plot twists were not outrageous, but they were satisfactory. It shows how people with different ideas of justice and obedience can come together to achieve a common goal. The co-protagonists explore Sibyl to decide if it is an absolute infallible system that should always be obeyed, or if there is ever justification in defying Sibyl. There is a good balance of action, character development, exposition, and world building. It's very easy for animes to become lost in the action sequences or lost in the exposition, but this is not one of those animes. This story feels very close to reality. It doesn't feel very fictional to me, and it almost feels as if it's real. Psycho Pass is a character-based anime that uses crime, order, and philosophy to develop each character in their own unique and individual paths. It explores the concept of anti-fragility, how two people can experience the same level of trauma and one is able to bounce back, regaining a suitable crime coefficient, whilst the other person is left completely broken. I love how the story brings individualism into the concept of anti-fragility. The characters, particularly Kogami and Makishima, have a real depth to them and easily engage your interest through their emotive and contrasting philosophies. They are honestly in a league of their own when it comes to character-driven philosophy. You can tell that the music is carefully selected to make sure it's appropriate in all scenes, and it features classical music and techno, so it's not restricted in genre, and it's used so the anime is able to completely immerse you in its universe almost effortlessly. The animation quality is pretty great considering this was released in 2013, and I love that the design, details, and visuals are consistent, especially during the fights. Season 1 is definitely the best season, Season 2 for me was decent, and Season 3, it wasn't terrible, but it doesn't hold a candle to Season 1 at all. If you like thought-provoking anime that will make you think, this is the anime for you. The series makes you compare life under the Sibyl system with our own normal life and ask yourself which one is better for you, which system is right, which system would allow a human being to truly live, what is the best way? Is it really okay to punish someone for crimes they've not committed? It certainly taught me a lot about my own ethics, and I have no doubt that it will do the same for you. I really love the themes and ideas in Psycho Pass and the questions it forces you to ask. What is the purpose of free will? Is this something that is worth relinquishing in exchange for peace? Should human beings be able to dictate their own justice? What do you think? Would you like to live in a world or society like the one in Psycho Pass? Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video for clear skin and subscribe to Anime Tribe. I know the subscribe button can be a bit intimidating at times, it's red, it's scary, but please go plus ultra for me and smash it just this once if you haven't already. I believe in you. You've got this. You've got this. Okay, thank you. Bye.